Or lesson 5, how to get your dog interested in hunting up sheds for you. What I did was I went and just went through the same steps as 1, 2, 3, and 4 all over again. But now I'm away from the socks. I went to a harder material. Still using the scent. Went to a little bit harder material. I've used the rubber antlers. They have some rubber antlers out there that are really nice. My dog absolutely loved them. Loved them too much. I actually had to buy about 3 of them because he kept tearing them up on me. The first one was my mistake. I left it on top of the kennel, and when I come home, it was little rubber balls everywhere. But they just tear up eventually. But I don't see how they really absorb much of the scent. So it seems like you're putting a lot of scent on them, and and you get that dog slobbering and drooling, and it just doesn't seem. I don't know. I don't see how it really stays on there, because it doesn't. The rubber ones or plastic antlers you buy, they're not very porous. I don't see how any of the scent could soak into them. I'm sure some does, but for me, I went out in the woods and found an old dried up sycamore branch with a couple prongs on it that looked like an antler, where it was nice and dry. I put some of the liquid bone scent on it, and I knew that and I could watch it absorb and soak in. So I knew the scent would stay in that stick, and that's very inexpensive. If he happens to tear it up or break it or whatever, I don't really care. I can go find another one, and it's a little bit harder material, which is my goal here, because I was dealing with a puppy. Their mouths are pretty tender and stuff, so I wanted to move slowly to the bone. I didn't want it to get its mouth hurt on the bone, because that bone is hard and sharp, and so I went with a stick, and the same thing, soaked it with the scent, and started off with step 1 and moved my way all the way through step 4 again with using the stick, being the only change. The scent still there, the game's still there, everything's still the same. So the only thing I really changed was the texture of the item, because eventually we want to move up to the bone, but at small gradual steps. So that's what I had done. The next step in the process that I followed for getting my dog to hunt sheds. There's now, in the midst of all this, there's a lot of obedience training that needs to go along with this. I'm focusing a lot of these sessions on the the angle of going towards hunting the deer antler sheds. But at the same time, during all of this, you need to work on the simple the obedience commands from day one. Along with this, I know I haven't really mentioned that much in the other videos, but it kind of dawned on me that it's a very important part to be working on the obedience parts. The come when called, sit, stay. These are very, very, very helpful tools in the process.